So listen, this car I've owned since 2021. Unfortunately, it hasn't ran for longer than 5 minutes in 700 days. Now that's not to say that it wouldn't run at all, because I would. It would just flip-flop back and forth from running good to running terribly. Obviously, we have a lot of things to do. A very long list. So the things we know. We got a constant misfire in cylinder 4. The intake valves and timing are okay. The water pump, coolant, and oil are all new. So, things we gotta do. We gotta locate our issue by doing a leak down test, then a compression test, then we gotta start tearing apart the engine, and then replace, reuse, and rebuild. Once we do all that, we can get back to doing what this car was meant to do. Slight headphone warning. It's still a project, but this is just the work I've put in since December 9th of 2024 to finally rebuild this thing and change its life for the better. So referring back to our list, we know that we need to start with a leak down test. So we got the car up on the side of the house, started with the leak down, and a compression test at the same time, and then we started tearing it down. Current. Take off its front upper timing chain cover. Got the turbo off. Now it's just to get this bolt out because it's stripped. All the other ones are done. And then let's take off this engine mount. Prop up the engine. Take off the lower timing chain cover. Take off the timing chain and then take off the head. So theoretically, I just got all the work done to valve cover. I got all the timing chain off. Exhaust manifold is gone. Intake manifold's obviously gone. Should be able to pull the head here. Oh yeah. Okay. Bang! Let's go! Down the back, just a bare block. No cylinder wall scoring, it doesn't look like. They all look good. Pistons look fine. Let's go! This is all working under a tarp. But, cylinder's off. Cylinder head's off. Timing chain's off. Turbo's off. Heads off. Cams are out. Downforce Industries, we work with the littlest amounts that we can, or what we're given. Right now, we're working on the Mark 6 GTI on the side of the garage with a tarp over it because we're here in Washington, southern Washington, where it gets very rainy. Now, with all the parts removed, we can start diagnosing with the main issue. You can see that. This is cylinder 4. We're going to take our little compressor gun with a little duct tape on it, seal exhaust port on the bottom here, excuse the noise, but look, the bubbles. Yeah, those bubbles popping up all around the seal, and this isn't even sealing all the way. Jumping all around. So that's an absolute definite yes for cylinder 4. Exhaust valves need to be replaced. at least those two. You can see over here, there I did test the other ones. This is cylinder 3, cylinder 2, and cylinder 1. Cylinder 1 never had any escaping bubbles. Cylinder 2 did, with a little bit of pressure on the backside. So did cylinder 3. Not crazy. Cylinder 4 did have a lot of bubbles without even compressing it all the way. So in knowing that cylinder 4 is going to probably take out the 2 exhaust valves from cylinder 2 and 3, making a total of 6 exhaust valves that we will have to lap, just to ensure that the next time that any problems arise that we know that it's not exhaust valves again. We're going to be diagnosing that, rebuilding it, relamping the valves, and maybe even adding in some new parts. Alrighty, today's the day. We're finally going to get these new exhaust valves in. A brand new, just come in from ACS Tuning, and we got 6 of them. We're going to do cylinder 2, 3, and 4. When the first time that this car exploded, all 8 intake valves got broken, causing the catastrophic damage of this car never being able to start again. So we're going to do exhaust side. Cylinder 1 was never having an issue, so I never wanted to replace it. Of course, I can come back in here later on at a different date if anything else happens and replace those 2. Of course, they are $40 a pop, but they're lifetime replacements from ECS Tuning. They're fucking awesome. Alrighty, we have our new exhaust valves all laid out. They don't have to be numbered, of course, because we're just gonna put them in how they are. We have a little oil in here, so we can make sure that we loop up the back side of the oil, the actual rod side of the valve, this guy, so that when you go push it through your valve stem seal, it can actually go all the way through, no issues, not popping up. But first, we have to lap these to make sure they actually seat well. Let's see how that goes. Now I realized I didn't film any of the valve lapping, but all you need to know is that it's sealed. It definitely did take a little bit of time, a lot of lap over and over, but Diamond 400 grit did do the trick. Alrighty, here's all of our parts. So we got new injector seals, a bunch of new bolts for everything, head gasket, we got a new timing chain tensioner, downpipe gasket, exhaust manifold gasket, battery terminal insulators, seals for all the other little things, nuts, oil seals, an intake manifold gasket, a whole new set for all the new seals for the upper timing chain cover, a new N205 valve for DTEC, and then a new PCB because these are known to fail very easily, cleaned off our valve cover, got new bolts, we got a new high pressure fuel pump, a new gasket for the vacuum seal, and then finally a dipstick because I haven't had one on this car ever. And then, obviously, we cleaned up the new head, got most of it off. How to shop, liquefy out the old broken exhaust stud. Head out of here is... Let's examine these threads. That actually doesn't look that bad. That looks pretty good. The nuts for these guys. Do spin on nicely going the opposite way. These are 13s. The trick to doing it like this is you gotta watch your stud. Especially with one of these locking nuts. I want to make stud keeps moving, because as soon as the stud stops moving, you want to break this nut free. Just like that. Okay, well, stud's in. That was a pretty simple job. That should be exactly TDC. Alright, so the way I want to play this, or I'm thinking I want to play this, is head, cams, valve cover, and timing. Alright, now we gotta do the torque specs for the head gasket and these 4 T35s. Just like so. Sit on there nicely. Be able to see a little sliver. Let's go grab those head bolts. It's a T45. Grab our big 1/2 inch. Put our head bolt on. So we got our Husky torque wrench. Spec is for this guy, like I had gone over beforehand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're gonna do it like that. We're gonna take a zip tie, put it around this exhaust cam, loop it in, and this down directly onto this chain to hopefully get enough tension on there, just like so. Our valve cover and all the bolts with the valve cover. This one should already be. Tighten these guys down to damn, I wasn't recording. Okay, well, that's awesome. You can see the timing mark right here. It's just lining them up using a 19 to rotate your camshaft where you need it. So we got that timing mark lined up and that timing mark with the zip tie. Come down here, we could see our timing. So we're going to be checking where this is. Thank you for the humble mechanic. I've watched this video hundreds of times. The measurement between the two is going to be 124 to 126, and we hit that exactly. We'll start down here, I guess. Put this bolt in here. These are your M12s. Timing guides are on, but they need to be bolted. So we're going to do that now. Get this one started right here. Oil tensioner. Tighten this guy down. Just like that. Take this spring tension. Get it back there. There it is. So just like that. This guy is a torque until stop. Just like that. That applies tension onto oil chain. We got our tensioner up there. Guide bolts on. Here. Ink mark has got to line up 100%, and this mark on this guy should line up as well. We're gonna rotate this engine over twice. This is the scariest part. Here we go. It's nice and smooth. And there's our set. So that bottom lined up. And of course our top chain does not line up. That's to be expected. That bottom tick mark right there, you can see on the top, lines up still. So that was 2 full rotations. I just gotta go grab my a couple microfibers, clean up this edge, grab a little razor, clean up some of the old gasket maker. Let's do that real quick. If you wanted some beef for it, then you can go meet me. So the trick to removing old RTV is use a corner, put your hand like this, use the top of it, and just run it along. Also, you want to make sure that you wear gloves when you're doing this type of work. So that obviously you're working with a blade, right? Something that can cut you. You want to make sure that you wear gloves, so that if you do accidentally run into an issue of like almost stabbing yourself or stabbing yourself, you know that you're not going to cut yourself because you're wearing gloves. In all honesty, you should be wearing gloves most of the time that you're doing automotive stuff. That's just a personal opinion. But all that old RTV, regular microfiber, wipe off our entire thing, just like that. We just cleaned up that bottom mating surface. We're gonna go seal it up real quick. Put that guy on, bolt it up. Gasket make this guy. We're gonna grab our bolts after that. So obviously the groove is there to hold this gasket maker in place and have enough. With this pin, that top one is a bolt, this bottom one's a pin. I like to encapsulate the top bolt and then do the same thing for the pin. And just keep going. The bolt inside. The very bottom of the engine. The same thing on the outside of this bolt. Fill the groove. Outside of the bolt. Inside of the stud. Outside of the bolt. And fill your groove. Encapsulate this bolt. Fill your groove. Encapsulate your bolt. Fill the groove. Encapsulate this top left bolt. Now we're going to take this guy, line up our holes, make sure everything looks good. It's a little tricky. I've never done it before. Just slide it in, and then on. That R2B starts to stick on. Sorry about the dog barking. Again, I can't do anything about it. So we're going to start putting on these bolts. And obviously we got that one that's behind the tensioner. They're all on there, other than the one.
It's good. We go down, not 100%, but just like the valve cover, just enough to get treated. Just applying a little bit of pressure. Slow extension.
Terrible spot, Volkswagen. Why do you gotta do this to your people? Well, working on these cars. Why you gotta do them like this? Cool. Nice and good. Good. Hell yeah. Alrighty, you can see. Sorry about the dog. So we got the turbo on. I didn't film it because it's really difficult to get it in here all the way. But we got all the bolts tightened down, or the lower timing chain cover on, as you saw that in the last clip. And then we got to do the crank pulley. Yeah, so I didn't just not film the crank pulley. I didn't film putting on the engine mount. I didn't film putting on anything of the upper timing chain cover. It sucked, but we're making do. So we still need to connect its downpipe. You need to do its intake manifold, its high pressure fuel pump. Obviously, start connecting hoses and whatnot. There is the coolant lines and oil lines that run to the turbo. And I didn't record that either. I didn't record anything. This is the type of condition I was working in. So at this point, I stopped bringing my camera and I just rolled with my friends and did what I could every day that I could, because I still work a full-time job. And it just kept progressing more and more until I didn't grab a picture of the engine bay before I started it. Okay, on. 3, 2, 1. You losing anything? You never want to see a hand go up to the first start of your engine. We were losing oil from the banjo bolt on the top of the turbo. After the fact, we figured out the cylinder tube injector wasn't plugged in, so we plugged it in and started it back up. Run it. Sounds way better. Way better. Only 2. The 2 that we know that are 5. Wanna go see if we're leaking? Check the coolant. We were good. It just sucks down a lot of coolant, but I turned it off to be safe. And it ran it again, but this time I didn't film it, so here's the fourth start. Fourth start of the GTI. Look at fucking God! You can hear the audible misfire, and the gas that's in this is nearly 2 years old, but I just wanted to check if it could rev. This is a low oil pressure sensor issue. I bought a new one, bought a new connector for it, spliced it in, put on my headlights, a new front bumper, then went to go get some more gas, because like I had said previously, it's very old, and ultimately causing our misfire. After getting some gas, I attempted to drive it home. 0 misfires while driving on the freeway. Oh, that's sick. This is what we like to see. 0 misfires. And once I got it home, it sounded way better. So finally, after 754 days, the car is up and running again with just a small issue. The ECU is locked, and I need to be able to tune the car for how it is built now. So we'll dive into that in a new video. Subscribe if you enjoyed. This took me a long time, as you can tell. So thank you for watching. This has been Downforce Industries, the first video on the channel.